You know the old saying, where there's a will, there's a way? Well, Oklahoma authorities say this woman definitely found it. What she was caught doing with a T-shirt cannon that landed her in hot water. Plus, hassle on the highway. Your morning drive could get a lot worse. How many more years of construction chaos Oklahomans will have to endure.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 10.
And thanks for joining us. We'll get to all that in just a minute. But right now, we are taking a live look near Britton and Western. Police investigating a possible stabbing there.
Our crew's just arriving on the scene. We will update you with more details as soon as we get them here at 10. Also, an orange jumpsuit with an old curtain wrapped around it.
And that's what police say an escaped inmate was wearing when they took him into custody near the Greens Golf Course. We told you about the story last night at 10, the only station there when Corey Boughton was recaptured after more than an hour on the run.
Now, he'd been at the nearby Mercy Hospital emergency room when he made a break for it. But it wasn't exactly a daring escape because he never had police supervision at the hospital to begin with. Village police sent him there alone. News 4's Bill Miston getting to the bottom of why, and he's live outside the Village Police Department. And Bill, was this just a complete oversight or is it maybe standard protocol?
Good evening, Kevin, Joleen. Right now, not exactly sure. The Village Police Chief, Paul Kinman, declining to talk to me on camera this afternoon, but handing me this prepared statement, basically saying the department is investigating why that county inmate under their responsibility was not escorted to the hospital by a police officer.
With a helicopter,
as long as I've lived here, this has never happened.
And cop cars ringing the Greens neighborhood near Mercy Hospital.
I just said, oh my gosh, look at all the police cars.
Thursday was not a normal night.
If you see somebody who looks suspicious, even if he's not still wearing that orange jumpsuit, then they need to call the police.
But police picked up 24-year-old Corey Boughton not long after, capping what had been an interesting day.
He's been kind of bumped around today from county to the village, and now we're involved.
You see, Boughton was pulled over by the village police last Wednesday. Turns out he was wanted for failure to appear in a 2016 Oklahoma County court case. Boughton then booked into the Oklahoma County Jail until Thursday.
We had gotten a call yesterday morning from the village saying that they wanted to check the inmate out so they could take him to court.
To appear in their courtroom on 3-year-old traffic tickets. While in custody at City Hall, Boughton complained of a medical condition and was taken by EMSA to Mercy Hospital, unescorted.
Did he have like a guard on him or anything like that?
He did not.
Police said instead of getting checked out, Boughton checked to see if the coast was clear and cleared out of the ER through an emergency exit, heading south, spurring the frantic search.
When you check an inmate out, it's 100% responsibility of that agency to do whatever they need to do with them, and then they bring them back to us.
News 4 wanted to ask village police why Boughton wasn't escorted. In a statement handed to me by Police Chief Paul Kinman, saying the police department is currently investigating as to why the prisoner was allowed to go to the hospital unescorted and are working to ensure that this does not happen again.
Boughton back in jail tonight. He is being held without bond, and Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office officials say it's unclear if Boughton can even be charged with escaping, considering the circumstances. Reporting live in the village, Bill Miston, Oklahoma's News 4.
We'll look for your follow-up, Bill. Thank you. Still a lot unknown at this hour after a man was shot dead in broad daylight. Now, this was the scene earlier near Northeast 26th and Lindsay, just a stone's throw away from the state capitol. Police still piecing together exactly what happened, but we know the man was riding in a car when gunshots rang out. We also know witnesses saw people running from the scene, but it's not clear if those in the car with the man shot him or if the bullets came from somewhere else. We do know 3 people are being held for questioning.
A small community bidding a final farewell to 12-year-old Rindy Isaacs. Her life cut tragically short 1 week ago tonight when an allegedly drunk driver slammed into the Kanawha Junior High softball team's bus, both vehicles bursting into flames. Nearly 1,000 people gathered, remembering a daughter, a teammate, and a Kanawha tiger. The mascot's orange and white stripes turning purple in honor of Rindy's favorite color. School officials spending the last week in crisis therapy and training, while the junior softball team deciding to carry on with the season in honor of their friend. 2 others also died in that crash. The driver of the SUV, John Tallbear, and his passenger, Sherry Moore, Highway Patrol officials say they are still waiting on toxicology reports to determine if Tallbear was drunk at the time.
At least 49 people killed as the shooter streamed New Zealand's mosque massacres live on Facebook. We're going to show you a still frame. That's all we're going to show you of the 17 horrifying minutes as men, women, and children are gunned down during prayers at 2 mosques. The picture you saw was the gunman driving to the mosque. The attack allegedly carried out by a 28-year-old who calls himself a white supremacist. Police say he meticulously planned every detail. In a 74-page manifesto posted moments before the attack, the gunman wrote that he supported President Trump, calling him a symbol of renewed white identity. But back home at the White House, President Trump was expressing sympathy to those in New Zealand, saying the U.S. is standing by for any support that they need. Meanwhile, mosques across the country stepping up security. In Oklahoma, interfaith leaders gathered, calling it an attack on all of us. Joleen, back to you.
Thank you, Kevin. You see them at sporting events, T-shirt cannons. They're launching free swag into the air. Well, that's not exactly what one Oklahoma woman was allegedly caught doing with that device, though. Prison guards in Sayre say Carrie Hickman was caught launching contraband over the North 4th Correctional Unit fence. We're talking about drugs, cell phones, earbuds, tobacco. Hickman added a host of new felonies to her long previous list of drug convictions. And back here at home, Oklahoma City police tried to crack a case involving traffic cone capers. They say 4 thieves in a black pickup helped themselves inside a downtown parking garage. You can see some orange cones there in the truck bed. Police say more cones were inside the pickup cab.
Well, residents say it's a matter of life and death. Every day, hundreds of cars whiz by on a busy Oklahoma highway. But tonight, some fear it may cost a life before any real change happens. News 4's Cassandra Sweetman is on the night beat with the story. And Cassandra, you're talking about Interstate 40 here.
That's right, Kevin. The Earlsboro exit, it's not a busy town, but there's a truck stop there that draws a lot of traffic every day.
When we're coming through this intersection, I look over to make sure my son's got his seatbelt on.
Rick Streeter and his family live down the street.
It's a daily issue.
Where Highway 9A meets Interstate 40, a truck stop draws in a steady stream of traffic.
I've never seen it when there's not fuel being pumped out of those pumps.
The truck's often taking both lanes, forcing the 55-mile-per-hour traffic to stop. Streeter says it's caused a lot of problems.
I had a wreck less than a year and a half ago across the bridge. A semi pulled out in front of me.
These pictures from another nearby resident who told us he also had a wreck at the intersection. Streeter taking extra precautions to keep his family safe.
It's bad when you have to explain to your children, if one of these trucks pulls out in front of you and there's nowhere for you to go, hit them in the axle so you don't go under the trailer and it take the whole top of the vehicle off and decapitate you.
To make matters worse, Potawatomi County Sheriff's Deputy James Caskey said people often roll through the stop sign and speed. He recalls at least 5 crashes in the past 2 years and wants the Oklahoma Department of Transportation to do a study.
To see if we can have some engineers come out and see if we can come up with a more permanent solution to this, maybe lowering the speeds, putting up flashing lights for large trucks coming in, or even widening the intersection itself and having turn lanes.
News 4 put in an open records request. ODOT numbers show only 1 wreck was reported in the last year, and it didn't involve a semi. But for everyday drivers like Streeter, the near misses tell a different story.
Is it going to take somebody dying down here before we really get something done?
Now, an ODOT spokesperson says they do not feel a study at this location is needed right now. However, they will be adding a trucks entering sign. Joleen.
Thank you, Cassandra. Hassle on the highway. Just when you thought it was over, construction is about to kick off again, right at the heart of where 2 major interstates cross. We're talking about the I-235 and I-44 interchange, and ODOT says this phase is going to be the worse than the last.
2 years from now, the interchange finally will be the bow on the package that we've been looking for about 20 years.
But it's going to take a little grunt work first. The 7th phase of a years-long construction project kicks off March 25th. Right now, the plan's to keep 2 lanes of traffic open in both directions when possible, but there will be lane shifts and closures. We're told mostly at night and on weekends. However, ODOT is still recommending drivers take an alternate route. We've got a link to all of those detours on our website, KFOR.com.
After all that wind this week in Oklahoma, right now in many parts of our state on your Friday evening, you know what? The wind is calm. Isn't that great? And I've got important news for you gardeners, too. Details on your St. Patrick's Day weekend. That's next.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 10 with Joleen Chaney, Kevin Ogle, Mike Morgan, Brian Brinkley, and Scott Hines in your corner. Oklahoma's News 4, looking out for you. Now, forewarned weather with Mike Morgan.
Well, I think we all would agree. Pretty crazy week this week with near hurricane force winds earlier. I want to start you off here with a gorgeous picture from Lake Hefner on your Friday evening. And, well, this was sent to me by Joleen, and Joleen got this from Randy Halsney. And then I shared it to my Facebook page, and I'm sharing it with you. So it's really Randy Halsney's picture, and it's awfully nice, showing the seagulls out there at Lake Hefner, and not much wave action there on the water. Really nice. And look at this sunset here, nice and warm. Skies are fair outside tonight. It is chilly, not bitter cold, 44 degrees. And oh, look at the wind, easterly at only 5 miles an hour. That bodes well for our weekend. Well, temperatures will dip down tonight because the winds are going to lay down to near calm by tomorrow morning. They're almost there now, and we're in the mid-30s to middle 40s in the metro. Stillwater's a chilly 37, 39 in Enid, 39 in Alva, 34 in Woodward, and 36 in Ponca City. So you can see right here where already some frosty weather is going to set up, and even some freezes overnight, and probably some frost here in the metro as well. But look at the zeros here on the current wind speeds. Isn't that nice? Ponca City, Tulsa, Miami, Clinton, Woodward 0, and 5 miles an hour here in Oklahoma City, and 3 in Ada. We'll take that. The reason for all that beauty is this area of high pressure now in north central Oklahoma, and that's going to set up camp in our state all day long tomorrow. And it's going to keep the winds light throughout the day. So those of you who are looking for light winds tomorrow is your day. A little cloud cover coming in, high cloud cover, gave us a little splash of color there at sunset. This will be filtering in tomorrow, so we'll call it filtered sunshine tomorrow, but mostly sunny skies. It's high, thin cirrus cloud cover and not low gray cloud cover. So high, thin cirrus clouds often give us nice sunsets. We'll see about tomorrow evening. So high pressure right over Oklahoma tonight and for tomorrow. And for you spring breakers also, there's great travel weather in and around our state, moderating temperatures as well, a mix of 50s and 60s. 30 degrees tonight, light winds, some frost around in the morning, metro lows from 28 to 31 depending on where you live. That's a light freeze in most areas, and a moderate freeze in northern and northwestern Oklahoma tonight. 26 in Woodward tonight, 28 Alva, 28 Ponca, 29 Enid, 30 in Stillwater, 29 in Clinton. And here's some statistics on the last date of our last 32-degree temperature. This is the average calendar date for interior Oklahoma City, the urban portion of the city. It's March 29th. Outlying areas tend to be around April 3rd to April 5th. And the 90% chance of not getting frost after a calendar date is April the 15th. And Easter is also very late this year, toward the end of April. So 61 degrees for tomorrow with filtered sunshine. We'll have some high cloud cover around, but it'll be a beautiful day, gorgeous day. 60 to 62 for high temperatures for your Saturday. Again, hardly a breath of wind all day long, and upper 50s to lower 60s statewide. Just a bit of a southerly breeze in western Oklahoma. And St. Patrick's Day looks brilliantly sunny, completely clear, and temperatures in the middle 60s on Sunday with, again, not a whole lot of wind. So we're 2 for 2 on the wind this weekend. Just a touch cooler in northern Oklahoma with a very weak wind shift line or almost mini cold front. Let's talk about late next week. Take you all the way to next Friday, a week away. You look for the dark blue and purple colors, right? That's the northern branch of the jet stream. Notice it is a long way away from Oklahoma, and we have kind of coolish to mild temperatures with the southern branch of the jet stream. This should bring us a little bit better opportunities of some rain and mild to cool temperatures, but no Arctic air. In fact, this 30 is my coldest on my 11-day forecast tomorrow morning. 61 tomorrow, a little filtered sun, 65 brilliant sun on St. Patty's Day, and then some 60s and some 50s, and then perhaps even a few low 70s with a few increasing rain chances in about 8 to 10 days from right now. But I would get all those cool season veggies in the ground, folks.
Okay.
Garden center's going to be packed.
We deserve some good news from you.
Don't we, though?
Thank you, Mike. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. The Big 12 tournament rolled on tonight in Kansas City with both of our state teams watching on television.
What they had to say. And the Thunder will have a new look when they take the court tomorrow. See what you think. A hometown corporate connection getting strengthened is next.
Now, Friday Sports Overtime.
The Oklahoma City Thunder have a very hometown feel with hometown support, and now they'll be reflecting that in a very visible way with one of their hometown corporate partners. The Thunder announced today they will be wearing a Love's Travel Stops logo patch on all their uniforms, beginning with tomorrow night's game against Golden State. Love's has been a corporate partner with the Thunder for years, and this is an expansion of a multi-year deal with the company. The Thunder joins the rest of the NBA with corporate logos on their uniforms.
Corporate sponsors and sponsorship in general is important to our business. It's how we function as a team. And so if we're going to place a logo over the chest of our players, and our fans are going to see this each and every night, we think they'll be comfortable with one that's based right here in Oklahoma City and one that thinks like we do. And so I think our fans will be comfortable looking at that logo and looking at Love's and being a part of every memory with them. They're growing with us.
You'll see it tomorrow night when the Thunder host Golden State, the first of a huge 3-game homestand, not just for improving playoff positioning, but who they're playing and what kind of a spectacle it's going to be, really. Kevin Durant and the Warriors in town. Durant's questionable with an ankle injury, but he did practice in Houston today. He probably will play tomorrow night. And then Monday night, the Heat come to town. It'll be Dwayne Wade's final appearance in Oklahoma City as an NBA player. He's retiring at the end of the year. And then the Raptors in town on Wednesday night at 8:30. That's the night that Nick Collison's jersey will be retired. A big next 3 games for OKC. It wasn't a long stay in Kansas City for our state's Big 12 men's basketball teams. Both OU and OSU were ousted in the first round on Wednesday night. For the Sooners, they appear to still be in good shape to make the NCAA tournament, but it's far from a lock, and they'll have to wait until Sunday to find out if they're in the big dance.
I've never really been paying attention to the outside noise of if we're in or if we're out. We just got to focus on the game at hand. We had it in our control tonight to determine, to fully seal it in if we were in or not, without leaving any doubt in anyone's mind. But we let that slip tonight. Not handling business, so we have to wait for someone else to decide for us.
I hope we're in. Like I said, we've worked so hard to get to this point, and this game could have sealed the deal. My teammates have worked so hard, and I just want to get a chance for them to see what it's like to go to the NCAA tournament. And it's going to be a stressful couple of days. A lot of praying. Just hope we get a bid and just go forward in the tournament, make a run.
Oklahoma State season ended with a 73-70 loss to TCU on Wednesday night. OSU rallied from 21 points down to take the lead late, but TCU got a 3-pointer to regain the lead. The Cowboys season ends at 12-20, and after a turbulent second season under Mike Boynton, things can only get better for the Pokes.
I've been with these guys since June, and I've watched how we've transformed. A lot of positive, but certainly there's been some negativity also, some things that we're not necessarily happy that happened during the season. But I never came to practice and felt like the guys didn't want to be there or didn't care about each other or what we were trying to accomplish. And the record doesn't indicate that this season was a success at all. And I wouldn't stand here and tell you that I'm proud of being 12-20. But I do believe the way we got better, the way our kids played, gives me hope. Everybody talks about the future, but the future's here now. So we're excited about what we can become as we get back in the offseason and figure out how to get better for next year.
Big 12 tournament semifinals tonight in Kansas City. Iowa State and Kansas State in the first game. This one went back and forth, but late in the game, it was Marial Shayok who hit a 3-pointer to tie it and then knocked this one down to take the lead. Cyclones won at 63-59. The two teams who tied for the Big 12 regular season title, both out of the tournament. Kansas and West Virginia in the second semifinal. Bill Self's Jayhawks started slowly, and then Quentin Grimes got KU going, hitting 5 of 5 3-point attempts in the first half, including that one to end the half, and Kansas in control with about 7 minutes to go at the Sprint Center. When we get back, a #1 team in the nation closes out the regular season. We'll check out some former Bedlam golfers at golf's 5th major, and our state's Big 12 baseball teams are home. Plus, a former OSU football standout is in the news, and not for his play on the field. The latest on Tyreek Hill, next on Oklahoma's News 4. Tyreek Hill has made a name for himself in the NFL as a playmaker on returns and in the receiving game for the Kansas City Chiefs. But today his name is in the news for something off the field, and unfortunately it's something similar To what we've seen before. The Kansas City Star is reporting Hill is being investigated by police for an incident involving battery of a juvenile. The Star cited a source that said Hill's son suffered a broken arm and Hill's fiancée contacted the police. Hill was kicked off the OSU team after a domestic violence incident with that same woman in 2014 when she was pregnant with that same son. We will certainly keep following that story. Our state's Big 12 baseball teams are playing their final weekend non-conference series before Big 12 play gets started next weekend. Both are home for 3-game sets that started tonight. Josh Holliday's Cowboys taking on Southeastern Louisiana, and they got a run in each of the 3rd, 4th, and 7th innings, and then blew the game open with the 6-run 8th inning. Trevor Boone delivered the big blow with the bases loaded double to score 3. He had 2 doubles and drove in 4 for the game. OSU won 9-0. Same 2 teams at 2 o'clock tomorrow in Stillwater. Skip Johnson's Oklahoma Sooners home for the first of 3 games against Missouri State. OU was up 2-0 when they scored 5 runs in the 4th inning. Briley Ware with the single off the first baseman to score 2 runs. And then Missouri State came back with a 7-run 7th inning. It's now 8-7 OU in the top of the 8th inning. Same 2 teams tomorrow in Norman at 2 o'clock. Oklahoma's softball team won 2 games in Southern California today, shutting out Dartmouth 10-0 and winning at Cal State Northridge 11-0 in 5 innings. Sooners will finish their play in L.A. tomorrow against Illinois at 11 a.m. And OSU softball team opens a tournament in Oxford, Mississippi tomorrow. KJ Kindler's top-ranked OU women's gymnastics team hosting their final regular season home meet of the season against number 11 Alabama. Senior night for the Sooners, and they did not disappoint. Brenna Dowell executed a perfect vault, scored a 10, and OU was off and running. Fellow senior Nicole Lehrman scored a 9.95 here on the uneven bars. Oklahoma cruised to an easy win over the Crimson Tide. OU will host the Big 12 championships next Saturday in Norman, going for another national title. Second round of the Players' Championship at TPC Sawgrass in Florida. Former Cowboy Ricky Fowler had a rough day yesterday, played better today, and it helps when you do this. He holds it out on the fly on number 2. He shot a 67. He's 3 under and 9 behind the leaders. Former Sooner Abraham Answer with a great approach shot here on 7. He shot a 66. He's 9 under, 3 behind the leaders. Tommy Fleetwood and Rory McIlroy will have third round coverage tomorrow at 1 and final round coverage at noon Sunday here on News 4. We're out of time. Thanks.